Most people have the exact same first experience with AI. The first time you use it, the answer is pretty solid. The second time, still solid. But by the third or fourth time, you start to feel like something is off. The answers sound generic. It repeats things you already know. It doesn't go deep. It misses the point. And then a lot of people reach the same quiet conclusion. This AI isn't actually that smart. But here's the truth almost nobody wants to face. AI isn't dumb. It's reflecting the way you think. Two people can use the same AI, the same model, the same tool. One person says it's insanely smart and helps them do things that used to take hours. The other person says it's shallow and completely unreliable. The difference isn't the AI. The difference is how they approach the problem. And if AI has ever felt dumb to you, chances are you didn't use it the wrong way. You started with the wrong way of thinking. In this video, I'm going to show you why AI feels dumb to most people, yet becomes extremely smart in the hands of a few. There's an uncomfortable truth most people don't realize. AI isn't dumb, but most people are using it in a way that practically forces it to be dumb. They open AI, type a vague question, read a vague answer, and conclude that's all AI can do. But the problem isn't the AI. The problem is the role you're assigning it. Most people are using AI like a newer version of Google. Ask fast, get an answer, move on. But modern AI wasn't designed to be a lookup tool. It's not an expert that already knows your answer. And it definitely doesn't automatically understand what you're trying to achieve. AI only reflects what you give it. It doesn't know what you're working on, how far you've gotten, where you're stuck, or what a good result even looks like to you. It can't read your mind. It only reads the input. And here's the core mistake. Most people believe if I just ask a good question, that's enough. Not with AI. With AI, the question is almost the least important part. What matters is the context, the constraints, the goal, and how you frame the problem. When you give AI a vague request, it does exactly what it's supposed to do. It returns the safest answer, the kind that could apply to anyone, in any situation. That's not a flaw. That's the system working exactly as designed. And that's why two people can use the same AI and have completely opposite experiences. One says, this thing is insanely powerful. The other says, why does it feel so dumb? The difference isn't intelligence, it's intent. Advanced users don't ask AI to think for them. They use AI like a reasoning engine. Instead of saying, give me the answer, they say, here's the problem, here's the context, here's the goal. Now help me think correctly. The moment you change that role, AI stops feeling like a chatbot and starts acting like leverage. Now you'll understand why AI can create two completely different experiences. Same tool, same model, but one person says, this is elite, and the other says, this is boring. Because there are really two types of AI users. The first type is the question and answer user. They treat AI like a machine that responds to prompts. They open the chat and type things like, write me an ad, give me video ideas, summarize this document, how do I sell more? It sounds reasonable. But the problem is, those questions could apply to literally anyone. And when you ask without context, without data, without a specific goal, without real-world constraints, AI has no choice but to respond in a safe, general way. It will say things that are technically correct, but in a way that feels like, yeah, I already know this. And you conclude AI isn't special. The second type is the task assignment user. They don't ask AI, give me ideas. They give it a real problem. For example, with marketing, the average person asks, how do I get more customers? A strong user says, I sell X for Y. My customer is Z. I have a budget of $sign per month. I tried A and it failed because of B. My goal is 200 leads in 30 days. Propose 3 strategies. Pick the best one and explain why. See the difference? One person is asking for an answer. The other is building a reference frame for AI to work inside. And here's the mind-opening part. AI doesn't get stronger because you found a better prompt. AI gets stronger when you give it what it's missing most, context. Without context, AI is like a new employee on their first day. They'll respond to whatever you ask, but they don't understand how your business actually works. With full context, AI becomes like an assistant that's already read your emails, your documents, your plan, and your data. And it starts producing outputs that feel like, wait, it knows exactly who I'm talking to. So if AI has ever felt dumb to you, you probably don't have an AI problem. You have a problem with how you define the problem. And in the next part, I'll give you a ridiculously simple framework, a 4-layer formula that will make AI feel instantly smarter. Okay, here's a simple framework. If you remember this, one thing becomes obvious. AI isn't naturally smart. It becomes smart when you give it the right conditions to operate. This is the 4-layer formula. Input, context, task structure, output, standard. It sounds simple, but 90% of people skip at least 2 layers. Layer 1, input. What raw material are you giving it? Most people give AI a question, but what AI needs most is raw data. Instead of write me an ad, give it what the product is, who the customer is, the price, the unique advantage, the common objections, and what your previous ads performed like. No ingredients means AI can only cook a generic meal. Layer 2, context. What is your real situation? This is what changes everything. You need to say what stage you're in, starting versus scaling, what constraints you have, budget, time, team, and what you're optimizing for. Leads, revenue, retention, brand. Without context, AI gives textbook advice. It's like telling a doctor, I'm tired, without saying whether you're sleep deprived, stressed, or dealing with a health condition. The doctor can only say, try sleeping more. Layer 3, task structure. Do you want it to work or just talk? This is the most common mistake. People ask one question and wait for a great answer. Strong users break the job into steps. If you want a video, instead of write me a script about X, you ask for a pipeline. Identify the most curiosity-driven angle. Write 3 hook options for the first 30 seconds. Build a 6-part outline. Write the full script in short blocks. Then suggest abstract visuals for each block. At that point, AI isn't answering, it's producing. Layer 4, output standard. How are you scoring the result? If you don't define what good means, AI will choose a generic definition of good. You need to specify tone, sharp and fast, documentary, storytelling, length, minutes or word count, level of specificity, real examples, comparisons, counterpoints, and the goal. Make the viewer's mind open up versus just give tips. No standard means AI is doing an assignment with no rubric. Here's the most important line in this section. Advanced users don't have better prompts. They have better preparation. They don't search for magic words. They build a working environment where AI can actually perform. In the next part, I'll show you what this looks like in real life. Same AI, but when you apply these 4 layers, the result feels like a different universe. Let me prove how this 4-layer formula works in real life. Here's a very realistic scenario. Let's say you want to make a video on why AI feels dumb to most people. Scenario A, the Q&A user. They open AI and type, write me a video script about why AI is dumb for most people. AI will produce something that's technically correct, but bland. It'll say generic points like, ask clearer questions, provide more context. AI can hallucinate. Tried better prompts. It sounds fine, but you finish reading and you feel, okay, so what? Nothing new, nothing worth turning into a video. And you conclude, AI is limited. Scenario B, the task assignment user. This person doesn't start with a question. They start with ingredients. They tell AI, the goal of the video is to trigger a mental reframe, not teach button clicking. The audience is people who tried AI and felt disappointed by generic answers. The tone should feel like a sharp, fast, logic-driven channel with strong contrast. The structure is 6 parts: hook, reframe, comparison, mental model, case, wrap. And the constraints are faceless content with abstract visuals. No screen-recorded UI tutorial. Then they assign the task like this. Write a 6-part outline using that structure. Each part should be 2 to 3 minutes of voiceover. Each part needs one punchline that hits the viewer's perception. And after each segment, suggest 2 to 3 abstract visual ideas suitable for VO3. See the difference? Now AI cannot respond in a generic way. You forced it into a frame. It has to maintain pacing, logic, tone, and output standards. The result is no longer an article. It's a product you can actually produce. And here's the key idea. When you use AI like scenario A, AI acts like someone answering interview questions. When you use AI like scenario B, AI acts like a production team, strategist, scriptwriter, pacing editor, visual director. Not because AI got smarter, because you gave it the input, context, structure, and standards it needed. If you remember one line from this section, remember this. You don't need better AI, you need a better way of working. And in the final part, I'll compress the whole video into one short rule. So the next time you open AI, you'll know exactly where to start. Okay, let me wrap this entire video into one rule. If you remember this, you won't fall into that feeling of AI is dumb, AI is boring, AI keeps telling you things I already know. The rule is AI isn't an answer. AI is a transformation engine, and it only becomes powerful when you give it the right input. Most people get disappointed because they type one question and expect a miracle. But AI doesn't work like that. It's more like a factory. If you feed it vague ingredients, no context, no standards, you'll get vague output with no depth. But if you feed it clear ingredients, a clear goal, and a clear thinking structure, something strange happens. AI starts responding like it's reading your mind. Not because it got smarter, because for the first time, you explained what you're actually doing. Here's how you start next time. Simple. Before you type your question, type these 4 lines first. Goal. What am I trying to achieve? Context. What situation am I in? And what constraints do I have? Task. What steps do you need to follow? Standard. What does a good output look like? For example, instead of typing, give me video ideas, you type goal. Make an 8 to 10 minute video that makes the viewer mentally reframe how they see AI. Context. The viewer has tried AI and felt disappointed by generic answers. Task. Give me 5 strong angles, pick the best one, then build a 6-part outline. Standard. Sharp logic, real-world examples, no UI tutorial, easy to visualize. That's it. You don't need complex prompts. You don't need fancy jargon. You don't need secret prompts. You just need clear thinking, like someone doing serious work. And if you want a single test to check whether you're using AI correctly, ask yourself this. If a stranger read this prompt, would they understand what I'm trying to do? If the answer is no, AI won't understand either. Before I end, I want to say something important. I'm Vietnamese. I'm not great at English. But you're watching this content in English. Not because I'm better than you, because I know how to use AI like a system, not like a chatbot. If you want the exact workflow I use to generate ideas, write scripts, create visuals, and publish videos like this, click the link below. I'll send you the full process I'm using to build the kind of videos you just watched. If this video opened your mind even a little, like and subscribe, because the next videos go even deeper, not into tools, but into the way of thinking that makes AI actually work for you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.